Well, hello there. This is going to be a follow-up to the puzzle cube. I'm going to modify it. I'm going to do something to it that's actually going to make it, I think, look a lot cooler, but it's going to be a lot easier to solve too. And so we'll see if this is going to work. So my idea was if I could just get this thing to turn into a sphere. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to turn it into a sphere, and I'm going to use a little bit of more advanced subtraction methods. All right, so the first thing that I want to do is kind of get my sphere cutting tool. Now, the thing is I can grab a sphere right here, right? And I can turn it into a hole, right? But this would be cutting out a sphere. I want to cut out the part of the cube that is not a sphere. Right, so if that makes any sense, right? So I want a sphere that is 3 by 3 by 3 because my cube is 3 by 3 by 3. So I want a sphere with a 3-inch radius like that, and so I can tell that my my cube will fit in the sphere like that. And then we change my view. Again, these views are very important. They'll be very helpful. And then I'm using the arrow keys to line everything up perfectly. I could use the align tool. I'm just kind of a little old school. I don't always like using the align tool. Now, it's very careful in this step not to deselect. Don't deselect because your sphere is still hanging out in there, and we don't want to lose it. But basically, I want this whole cube to be in that shape. But still have several independent pieces. Right, so now I've got that sphere. I'm going to put that sphere to the side. Oops. That's where the... Oh. Okay. Like that. Like that. Keep the cube there. There we go. Okay, so this sphere right here, I'm going to increase the number of steps on that guy so it makes it a little bit nicer. So what I need is I need something that's going to cut away the parts that are not inside of that sphere. So this is a little tricky. It's just a skill that can be kind of hard to figure out in the beginning. But I'm going to take this box and I'm going to make a cube that is 3 by 3 by 3. Now I'm going to hold down the shift key and it'll actually adjust all 3 dimensions of it at the exact same time. There we go. I got it 3 by 3 by 3. Now I want this to be a hole. Oops. So if I select it and then select hole right here. Now, if I were to put that over the cube and if I were to group it, everything would disappear. But I only want the parts that is not part of the sphere to disappear. So in fact, I'm going to keep this as a regular shape right now. I'm going to turn the sphere into a hole. And this might go a little fast here, so I apologize. And for this one, I am going to use the align tool because it is very, very important. Okay. So I'm going to click align, and then I'm going to make sure that that whole sphere, the hole that is the sphere, and the box are lined up. Line tool. There we go. Okay, it looks like it's all lined up. Now, I know there's a sphere inside that box. If I group it, now I know there is a hole inside that box. Watch this. If I select that box and I turn it into a hole now, okay, the grayish area is what's going to get cut away. So now if I put this over the box, if I group the whole thing, watch this. I'm going to group the whole thing. I'll be left with a sphere. Pretty cool. The problem is that I need those pieces, right? So I'm going to click undo. Okay, now I'm just going to click away and I'm going to carefully highlight just like the corner. And so now I know that I have just this red piece and the hole highlighted. Oh, I need to copy this because I'm going to use it each time. So I'm going to say duplicate, pull it over here, select just that and the piece, and then group. Look at that. Now I've got my one piece already done. And now I can leave it. I can leave it there for the rest of this. Okay, so I'll just repeat that process. I'll duplicate it, hover it over there, make sure it's in perfect spot. I'm going to highlight just kind of like this area. So I got just that pink piece and the thing. And then group. Ta-da. Duplicate. Pull it over here. Highlight just, say, that blue piece and that. And then group it. Ta-da. Duplicate. And there might be a better way. If you know a better way, please put it in the comments. I'm curious to know. And then I'm going to group that together. Ta-da. And I think, yeah, I only have one piece left. So I'm going to grab this, bring it over here, and then group that together. Now I have a puzzle sphere. A puzzle sphere instead of a puzzle cube. Look at that. Check that out. And if I were to print off those pieces individually, I think it's going to be a much easier puzzle to solve now because you know it turns into a sphere, so you'll be able to know that the rounded sides go on the outside. So there's a modification to a puzzle or to a toy. Guys, you might see a toy like this or a puzzle game or something. If you, you come up with a cool modification for something, you might be able to design it yourself, and who knows, maybe you can invent something that would be popular. But that's how you could do this really cool modification. I'm not sure how this piece would print. Honestly, it might be kind of tricky to print some of these pieces, but anyway, that's what I wanted to show you. So maybe come up with your own modification. The skill here is that you can turn any piece into a whole. So if you wanted to get the negative out of a solid, so if you had a solid piece like this cube, and I wanted to subtract this piece out of it, you can. You just click the whole part. So if you would click whole, now it's a whole. And guess what? You could do something like that for creating a mold, right? So then I could put this thing in here, group it, and now I would have like a mold I could use for creating that object. Okay, so that's the skill I wanted you to see, and then also just a really fun way that you can modify your puzzle cube into a puzzle sphere. So if you guys have questions, comments, please leave them, and I really do appreciate all of the support and the subscribers that I've been getting, and everybody watching, and I really do appreciate it. So thanks so much, guys, and have a great one.